Listen to this short clip of a Michelle Obama interview.
If you wanted to get someone in your husband's administration fired, how would you? How would you do
why
that?
Why do you ask?
Just curious, just wondering if there's somebody that rubbed you the wrong way. Would you send them a letter?
You probably understood enough to get the general context, and what you just did was passive listening. Normally, you'd finish watching the video or move on to the next episode. But we're going to do something much more useful. We're going to dig deeper. Listen again and try to fill in the blanks.
If you wanted to get someone in your husband's administration fired, how would you? How would you do that?
If you wanted to get someone in your husband's administration fired, how would you do that? The expression to get someone fired means that somebody is doing something that could cause another person or themselves to lose their job. This could be on purpose or by accident. For example, maybe you're sick of having to listen to your annoying coworker brag about how awesome they are, so you decide to delete an important report that they're working on to get them fired. I don't recommend this, by the way. Another example could be that your sister arrives 15 minutes late to work every day, and so you tell her, you're going to get yourself fired if you don't get to work on time. This is very similar to the expression to get fired, which in this case, we're just talking about the simple fact that somebody is losing their job, not that somebody else is trying to cause it. For example, my dad got fired yesterday, or I am going to get fired if I don't finish this project. One final note, fired in this context always means that the company told you to leave. On the other hand, if you are the one who decided to leave, then use the word quit. Let's take these expressions for a spin, or in other words, let's try to use them. How would you say that your friend is currently losing his or her job? My friend is getting fired today. Here we use the handy present continuous tense, is getting, to indicate our friend is losing their job now or in the very near future. What if we want to say that your brother did something which caused his coworker to lose their job? My brother got his coworker fired. Get is an irregular verb, so if we want to say that your brother did this in the past, we use the simple past form of get, which is got. Let's try one more. What if you wanted to say that you're going to leave your job before your company forces you to leave? I am going to quit before I get fired. That'll teach them. You may not believe it, but our original sentence has a few more secrets hidden within. First, the word administration has a few similar meanings. Most commonly, it refers to the management of a business or organization, as in, the administration of the business takes a lot of work. But in this specific context, since Michelle's husband was a president, it's used to describe all of the people who work for a president of the United States. That's why you may hear people talk about things like the Obama administration or the Kennedy administration. Second, you might have noticed that this entire sentence is one big hypothetical question. In other words, Jimmy is asking Michelle about a situation that might not be real or have actually happened. Let's figure out how it works by simplifying the question. How would you simplify this sentence? From my perspective, a good way is to look for any part that could be summarized with a single word like something. In this sentence, to get someone in your husband's administration fired is something that Michelle Obama might want. Without all the extra detail, it's a bit clearer what's going on here. In the first part of the sentence, we have the word if, plus a verb in the simple past, you wanted. In the second part, we have an optional WH question, who, what, where, when, how, etc. The word would plus a verb. By the way, the that at the end of the sentence is just another something that can be replaced with whatever you want to talk about. Instead of focusing too much on the theory, let's try to use this concept right now. Let's say your mom hates cookies. I know. All moms love cookies, but hear me out. Despite the fact that she hates them, you want to know what she might make if she did like them. What's one way to ask her? Mom, if you liked cookies, what type would you make? Here the verb in the simple past is you liked. We are using the WH question what because we want to know information about something. Of course, we have the words if and would, which are a key part of this type of question. And finally, you make is the verb at the end. Now ask someone who does not have enough money to travel where they would go if they did. If you had enough money to travel, where would you go? By the way, you can change the order of this structure as well. What's one way to ask someone who does not have a dog what they might do if they did have one? What would you do if you had a dog? Time to look at part 2 of this conversation. Listen and fill in the blanks.
Why do you ask?
Just curious, just wondering if there's somebody that rubbed you the wrong way. Would you send them a letter?
Why do you ask? Just curious, just wondering if there's somebody that rubbed you the wrong way. Would you send them a letter? Just curious or just wondering are super useful ways to let someone know that your question is not urgent, that it's not very important, or that there's really no specific reason why you're asking it. For example, why do you have a beard? I don't know. Why do you ask? Just curious. Never gotten that question before. You could also start your question this way. I'm just curious, why are you obsessed with teaching English? Next, to rub someone the wrong way is an idiom that basically means to annoy someone. It's usually used after you've seen or spoken to someone multiple times or they have done something annoying multiple times. For example, I'm sorry, but your boyfriend just rubs me the wrong way. In this example, it sounds like I have spent some time with this boyfriend guy and I don't like him because he really annoys me. By the way, did you notice that this sentence uses the exact same structure as the previous one? Just wondering if there's somebody that rubbed you the wrong way, would you send them a letter? This is a good example of the same structure without using a WH question, since we aren't asking for more information about something, or we're not asking about a time or a person. All we want to know is if something happened, would something else happen? Time to look at one more important detail. How would this part of the sentence change if the person we are sending a letter to was your sister? Would you send your sister a letter? How would it change if I already knew you were talking about your sister? Would you send her a letter? Now, what if I already knew you were talking about a letter? Would you send it to her? Whoa, where'd that "to" come from? It may seem like a very small detail, but it makes a huge difference if you want to sound natural. In fact, forgetting it is one of the most common mistakes I see English students make. Let me explain. Some verbs like send, make, read, buy, or cook can be used to talk about both a thing we are sending, making, reading, buying, or cooking, and a person that is receiving the thing you are sending, making, reading, buying, or cooking. We say that the thing is a direct object and the person is an indirect object. Normally, the indirect object comes in between the verb and the direct object. For example, she bought me a pen. He cooks his daughter dinner. She sent her a letter. I made you this blanket. I will read him a story. If we decide to make the direct object a pronoun, usually it, then we need to change the order and put the word to or for in front of the indirect object, depending on the verb. Some examples: she bought it for me. He cooks it for his daughter. She sent it to her. I made it for you. And I will read it to him. How do you know if you should use to or for? Well, unfortunately, it always depends on the verb and there's no magic rule per se. But in general, you would use for when the verb is talking about helping or doing something nice for someone, and you would use to when you are giving someone something. She bought it for me because she's nice and helped me. I wasn't at the store. He cooks it for his daughter because he's helping her. She's too young to cook. She sent it to her because she's giving her a letter. I made it for you because I did something nice for you. And I will read it to him because I'm giving, or in this case, telling him a story. Let's try some examples together. What should this sentence be if we change the word salt to it? You might be tempted to say, can you pass me it? But this sounds pretty weird. Instead, you should say, can you pass it to me? By adding that to, things sound much more natural. How about this one? He cut it for him. One more. Jake is throwing it to Bobby. This topic definitely deserves its own video, but for now, just remember, if the thing you are sending to someone, or the thing you are telling someone, or the thing you are doing for someone is a pronoun, the word it, then you should put the word to or for in front of the person receiving it and move that whole part to after the it. Now that we've analyzed everything, watch the clip one more time and I bet you'll understand a lot more about what's going on.
If you wanted to get someone in your husband's administration fired, how would you... How would you do that?
Why do you ask?
Just curious, just wondering if there's somebody that rubbed you the wrong way. Would you send them a letter?
Pretty cool, right? In just a few minutes, you went from a general idea about what you heard to a much richer and deeper understanding of it. Not only that, but you're probably more confident and hopefully a little excited about trying out a few new expressions. And we just scratched the surface. If you like this video and want more, be sure to click subscribe and head over to deliberateenglish.com to learn about how to speak fluent English and understand native speakers. See you soon.